Sunday night, and I've filmed a heap of bits and pieces this week, but I've decided I'm just going to do like an update video because just all over the joint. But here's where the bike's at so far. It's got the wheels on it and got the exhaust on it, but I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what I've done. Right, firstly, because of the sponsorship on the Land Cruiser through Besson Auto Parts, I've got these here, which are excellent, nice microfiber cloths and disposable ones too. So it's normally annoying not having good rags like you saw in the first video where I was trying to mop up all that coolant. Anyway, got the wheels powder coated, thanks to the people at AAA Powder Coating. They always do a great job for me. And then I've stuck some new Dunlop tyres on it. I ended up changing my mind and pulling the front end out apart again and put the taper roller bearings in there because I just, I wasn't really happy with the other ones when I put them in. They just didn't feel right doing up. So, but speaking of bearings, I also put new wheel bearings in front and rear. And as you can see, new bearings are always a huge bonus. So that just keeps spinning and spinning forever. Now around here, I did have the earlier headers, but I found that with this Vance & Hines pipe, they didn't line up properly because of the fact that this flange here is a different rotation from the early models, and changed at 96 it actually went around a bit, so that means the pipe wouldn't have been straight, and I was either tossing up whether or not I have to cut the flange off and then rotate it, or I had a set of 98, 99 pipes which were grubby but in good condition. So what I've done is I've had to modify the bracket under there just to make it fit, and got the pipe on there with not too much hassle, which is turned out pretty nice. That should be a great sounding pipe too, but because these pipes here, I'll throw in a photo, but I glass bead blasted them. They come out sort of like a grey colour, and because they were just sort of like a bit weird looking, I decided to do something strange and I covered them in solvent and set them on fire, and that's just given them a bit of a tarnish just to make them look a little bit second-hand, because that's the way I wanted them to look. I'm sure they'll colour up a little bit once the bike's been run for a bit, but getting there. Up in top here, I'm going to get it running with these carbies on it, but had a crazy thought the other night because I love the FCRs so much, and I just happened to have a second set of them on the way, which will suit the other bike. I'm probably going to, and there's the back wheel as well while I'm at it. So same deal, new bearings in there. You can just hear the little tabs off the edge of the tyre rubbing underneath. Other than that, still got the standard 43 sprocket on there at the moment. I'll decide whether or not I leave that on, but getting back to this, they are the FCR 39s, flat slides. The sexiest carburetor in the world, if you're into that sort of thing. So those there, I've got a set of foam filters that can go on there. I won't run ram air or anything like that. I'm going to see whether or not I have to give them a rebuild. They've been sitting around for a while, so stuff like the O-rings have probably gone hard. I know there's a couple of gaskets that need replacing, but other than that, they were pretty good when they were running last. They were on the turbo bike before, so I just need to get in there, reset the float levels, put some smaller jets in. So for those wondering what an FCR is, it's unlike a normal carburetor which has a butterfly in it. These have just like a flat slide in them, and that's why they call them flat slides. So it's a slide throttle. So basically the only thing that's in there when it's open is the needle, and when that shuts again, and these definitely do need a rebuild because they're a bit sticky. I'm probably going to either do these myself, or I might even send them across to Shannon in Sydney. If you check him out on Instagram, he's got an awesome Instagram page. I'll put it down the bottom here, Carburetor Guy. That's that, but so far this is where we're at. I'm just waiting on little bits and pieces. I've got a headlight bracket coming from a guy in America because the 92, 93 or 92, 93, 94 if you're in the States is different. and also a set of fairings still on their way. Hopefully they'll come soon. The brake calipers, they just need a quick clean up and maybe a squirt of paint before they go back on. They're pretty good condition though, and the lines and everything are really good, so happy about that. But the other cool thing this week is this over here, and I was very excited because it's taken me a long time to get this. But this here, this is, and it needs a little bit of work and some repairs, but this is a hand fabricated Arian fuel tank which was used, and it's been repainted since, but mentioned in the last video that the Arian bike ridden by Nicky Hayden and Curtis Roberts back in the day, and this is actually one of the fuel tanks that was on one of those bikes that was probably originally black with the red and white on it. But I've managed to get it. It's taken a while to get it here to Australia just because shipping and all that sort of crazy stuff. But a few little repairs, but big thanks to the guy who sold it to me and the other bits and pieces, which includes also this awesome front stay here, which basically is designed to incorporate the battery too. And I'm guessing, and I'd love to hit up Kevin Arian and find out, but I know, having chatted to some of the other guys about these bikes, some bits and pieces, but I'm finding out more and more and finding the people that built them. But I'm guessing that the battery here was used to add some more weight over the front end, because back then they wouldn't have had lithium batteries that I know of. So a little bit extra weight over the front wheel, which is pretty cool, up tucked in the fairing. But yeah, I'm just sort of totally in love with this tank here. The only thing is I don't have a cap for it, so I'm not 100% sure what the cap is or where to get one. I'm sure I'll sort of digging around, I'll be able to find who originally made them and hopefully find a cap for it. But gonna have to do some repairs to it, and it's gonna get repainted anyway, so repairs and mount up the tail properly and get it all done. But this is the next cab off the rank, if you put it that way, after the 92 over there is done. The race bike in the middle here, that's all sorted, that just needs the fairings put on it. But this one, and then finally this is a, see if anyone's interested, but I have this here which people may recognize this as looking very similar to a Fireblade engine, but this is actually the engine out of a CB900 from 06 to 08 I think, or maybe 04 to 08. This is an 08 one, super low kilometers on it. I have discovered a few things. People have always said that they're the same as a Fireblade engine. They're not, but I believe the casings are the same casting. The compression is apparently lower, but there's a few little things straight away as soon as I got it that I found out made it different. Is obviously these things were injected to start off with, so they ran a fuel injection manifold on them. The ports on the head are quite a bit smaller. Don't off the top of my head remember the measurements, but I think it was almost 10mm difference. Big thanks to the people that sold me this. Actually, they've taped everything up beautifully and done a great job when they shipped it to me. But the one thing that stood out straight away was the way the engine's bolted into the bike. Right here, a little bit dark, but right here is where the engine normally bolts into a Fireblade, and the casting is there, but there's no hole or thread in it. And it's exactly the same on the other side, and also here, which is normally quite a bit more open for allowing a big rubber grommet that goes in there with a sleeve in the middle, is just basically a solid block. So I think it shouldn't be a problem, and if anything, noticeably the speedo sensor is exactly the same as 98-99 Fireblade, but I think it's just a matter of drilling and tapping these two, be able to open these up, like machine that out, and probably even as simply as doing it with a step drill or something like that. But then the most important bit will be the head and what to do with that. I think performance wise this would be terrible and have to find manifolds to work, but I've got a sneaking suspicion that a Fireblade head will fit on it, and that's what I think I'll do. So this may be an upcoming project, but if anyone's interested, let me know, because I'll do it as a video on itself. I'll put the this and a dead Fireblade engine on the bench next to each other, and maybe sort of do like a half strip down, take the head off and compare some stuff and look at what to do, because I think without letting the cat out of the bag, I think these are actually going to be a pretty good thing for people looking for Fireblade parts. Put a Fireblade head on it, some high compression pistons, and then hey presto, you got a ladder model engine. So pretty cool. So there you have it, more of me talking crap in the shed. Can't wait to work on this bike. This has been a dream of mine. It's been a long time in the build, not because of just concentrating on other projects and just getting parts and collecting bits and pieces, but the 92 is not too far off getting done, but I think this one's going to be the fun one. And yeah, I'm going to go inside because it's starting to be winter here in Australia. I've just had my haircut and I am freezing my ass off. So thanks for watching, more Land Cruiser soon, and really appreciate everything on the channel. Also check out, the other day did a video on an inspection camera which I used on the Fireblade, so if you're interested, check that out. But yeah, like I keep saying in every other video, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Catch you later.